tell me why. There is so much anti-trans legislation. Now, I don't know why this is happening, but I have come to the conclusion that limiting bathrooms to the assigned gender at birth of an individual will literally never work and will have profound consequences for all of society as a whole. Yes, it does affect cis people, and I'll tell you why later in the video with examples. But it's not only bathrooms that are the target of anti-trans legislation. Let me give you an example of the type of laws that have been passed specifically in the United States of America, but not only in America, because now the UK is anti-trans. Like, what happened there? J.K. Rowling, I read your books. Why'd you have to do this? Other countries as well. It's like, what the flip? Anyways, here's some examples of laws that have been passed. Trans youth healthcare bans. So that means no HRT, no puberty blockers. Sports participation bans. That's not just professionally. That includes children, elementary kids, middle schoolers, high schoolers who want to play on their teams. Curriculum restrictions, such as the don't say gay in Florida. Like, we're all familiar with that, right? This is bad. But they're getting worse. Book bans as well. Those are a part of this. I saw this one school board who banned 1984 and Fireflies with all the gay books as well. But how are you going to ban 1984? What has the United States become? There's also forced outing. What is this? Drag and expression restrictions. You know what this means, Trump? You can't wear makeup when you're in Texas. I know what you are. Now you may be saying, oh, but these laws don't affect me. I'm not American. Or, I'm a cisgendered white dude and this doesn't bother me, I'm a Republican. Just stop coping because it does affect you, and I will show you how. But first, here's some proposed anti-trans legislation. Adult healthcare restrictions, banning affirming care for anyone under 26. This was proposed in Oklahoma and South Carolina. So a legal adult could potentially not be able to get gender affirming care. Like, what? The criminalization of parents and providers who get HRT for their child. There's also a potential ban on the legal changing of documents. You know, if you want to change the name on your passport, but you're not in the USA, well, I got you there too. I got you, don't you worry. The UK just defined man and woman as based on the biological sex. The UK Football Association also just banned trans women from competing. In 2023, Russia completely banned gender affirming surgeries of any type, HRT, changing of documents, but what do we really expect from Russia? And New Zealand proposed a bill that would require all washrooms to be labeled as either male or female and only be accessible based on your assigned sex at birth. But you know, India ruled that trans women are legally and entitled to be women, so that's pretty cool. W for India, like what? And what is J.K. Rowling doing about all this? Well, she's out here busy calling women biological men, which I must clarify, she is not a biological man. But you know what is rolling? Her reputation. Cause it's like someone lit it on fire and sent her rolling down the hill. And this is part of the reason we cannot base spaces off of biological gender, because people don't always fit into that binary. Gender is a spectrum, even if you're cisgendered. Is it not common sense that trans people are such an extremely small minority and our rights will have no influence, absolutely no influence, on your life whatsoever? But you know what might influence your life? Being fired from your job because a customer thought you were trans. Danny Davis is a cisgendered woman who happens to stand at 6 feet 4 inches tall. She was working at Walmart and she had to use the restroom. So this guy comes in and he's screaming slurs about trans people and about beating up trans women. The man literally assumed she was trans because of her height alone. Danny reported this issue to her supervisor, you know, for assistance, probably because she was scared out of her mind that some dude was thinking about beating her up. She was fired from her job at Walmart because she had reported it to the wrong supervisor and it was a security risk. See how these anti-trans laws, this lack of trans acceptance could be bad for society as a whole? Mind blown. On the topic of bathrooms, making bathrooms biologically based will never ever work for keeping trans people out of the restrooms. Well, it'll work for some people, like it would work for Lily Tino,
my corn dog,
because she makes absolutely no effort to pass. But for a large part of the trans population, it's going to do nothing. Think about this. Once you're passing as the gender you align with, you're going to use the restroom of the gender you align with. And because you're passing, absolutely no one is going to know in this hypothetical. And you had to go into the gender of your assigned sex at birth. What about trans men? Are we forgetting trans men? A lot of them I see on Reddit or I see on YouTube, and I'm like, if I didn't know you were trans, I think you would bully me. So when a trans man walks into the women's restroom, what is going to happen? Your whole point of we don't want trans women in the women's restroom because they're gonna be creeps. Well, now a man does not have to dress up as a woman anymore, which it doesn't happen. Men do not dress up as women to go into women's restroom because they would just go in. But now they can really just go in and say they're trans men. Do you see where we messed up? The worst of it, there have been trans men who have been assaulted or harassed because they went into a women's restroom. Here's one, probably. And like, for goodness sakes, when I use the men's restroom and I walk in there, I get stares from all around and I get people walking in and doing full-on 180s to see if they're in the right restroom. It's just uncomfortable for everyone. No, it does have an effect on everyone. Banning trans women from girls' sports. Because like J.K. Rowling so kindly demonstrated earlier, the right just loves labeling anyone as trans. Anyone who doesn't fit their gender binary. Oh, well, you must be trans. We're not even talking professional sports here, you know, in a competition. We're talking elementary school sports, middle school sports, high school sports. These are children that just want to play in sports because that is a trivial part of someone's childhood. And by ruling that trans people and effectively intersex people cannot play, you're cutting out a part of the population from doing something that is so trivial to everyone's childhood. Oh, and all those bills banning hormones, it's not gonna really do anything. By banning hormones, you're just gonna have more people do DIY, which is less safe. You care so much about the children. We don't want abortions. We don't want children on HRT. By banning HRT for minors, they're gonna go have to DIY it. And you know what happens then? It's even less safe. Y'all literally be Einstein at this point with how freaking smart you are. And let's also not forget about the proposed searching of minors who participate in sports, specifically girls' sports, you know, searching to check for transness. What are we doing as a society that this has even been partially considered acceptable to some people? It's the same for police strip searches. If you're suspected of being trans, a male police officer can come search you in some areas. Like, excuse you? Do we see how this can go wrong? And in the US, trans people can no longer serve in the military. But let's be so for real right now. If I was trans and I was American, I would not want to be serving in that military anyways. Another one is banning the LGBT flag. At some point in time, we had a culture fest. And because my school would ban the pride flag, they also had to ban all other flags to not be blatantly discriminatory. So you know what happened at a culture fest? There were no flags. I hope we can all collectively agree as a society that these anti-trans laws that target a tiny, minuscule portion of the population who has an unalterable trait is not okay. Anyhow, thank you to all of my members right here. So many members now. It's like, what, 7 members? And thank you for watching this video and definitely subscribing because you should subscribe to my YouTube channel because we're trying to hit 8 million subscribers.